Welcome back to another episode of March Mad Hot Air Plays Outer Wilds. I had to step away to run some errands for a couple of hours, but I am back now, but I have not stopped thinking about this game, and I'm wondering, I have a couple of questions in mind, but I'm wondering if the key to this whole thing, and in particular to the Ash Twin Project, which is quite literally at the center of everything, I wonder if the key to it is that the Nomai have figured out how to unite gravity and quantum mechanics, which has been a question for physicists that physicists have had for several decades now. Specifically, I'm wondering if what may have happened is the Nomai were wherever the Nomai home planet is. They figure out how to warp themselves, probably using this gravity quantum mechanics combo, and open up like alternate dimensional rifts or something, and this leads to them getting caught in the dark bramble, because that's kind of like a home to, or it seems like it would be native to some like alternate dimensional environment, I suppose. And then they ended up, because of that, they ended up getting stuck here in this solar system. Fired off a bunch of escape pods that ended up spawning some rival factions that were still engaged in a sort of space race, a literal space race for this eye of the universe that they have mentioned on several occasions that they have been looking for. One group decided to make themselves a locator, at first on the Addle Rock, which didn't work, and then they went to Brittle Hollow to build one. And then another group built the orbital probe cannon, but misused it and also sort of upped the power setting beyond its suggested capabilities, and so broke when the power, whatever power source they're using, which seems to me like it's heavily indicated to, it seems like there has been several incidents in this solar system involving black holes, several accidents. We've seen two black holes already, one at the core of Brittle Hollow, another one we saw with our scout just through a picture, and then now we're seeing a third one at the core of of Ash Twin. And so it's leading me to suspect that these ancient aliens are dealing with these powers that they probably shouldn't have been dealing with. And for some reason, the power setting has, as I've said before, just been escalating to the point where in the modern day, we're sending out probes, shooting off probes, and just collapsing things into black holes and ultimately destroying stars. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the subject. Alright, Ash Twin Project, let's see what we have. A hollowed out chamber inside Ash Twin. The energy cables from the surface are plugged into a protective casing at the center of the planet. There are 8 monoliths with Nomai masks attached. 3 of the masks are actively receiving data from the probe tracking module, Giant's Deep and Timber Hearth, respectively. So, yeah, so the masks are receiving data. I think that the masks are supposed to be observers. I think that the masks are what's keeping the black hole in place. I didn't actually, that'd be something interesting to see, and I didn't actually get a chance to look at it, or pay attention to it. I don't remember if it was the case, but I would suspect that at the moment the black hole appears at the center of the Ash Twin Project, the statues blink or turn off or something like that to allow the superposition to open back up again. so that the black hole can shift between the Ember Twins core to the Ash Twins core and keep the sand running from, or reverse the hourglass, so to speak. Okay. We may be far enough along in the loop at this point to head back there, and I want to head back there early enough, at least, that we can I feel like we're getting really close to the sun here. Oh! Okay. Honestly, that was bound to happen sooner or later. It does mean we have to restart the loop. And I'm going to just continue from this point rather than stop the video 6 minutes in. I guess we're just going straight to Ash Twin. Even earlier in the loop. Which is a little disappointing. Ash Twin. So we'll have some time to kill before we actually... I could go to Ember Twin. I could. We still have to see the bottom layer of that city. But... I want to have enough time on the Ash Twin. I want to prioritize the Ash Twin project this loop. And I want to have enough time to thoroughly explore it. So we're just going to be hanging out on this desert planet for a few minutes. Okay, let's get ourselves up to wherever the poles are. Should be somewhere around here, yeah. I feel like I've really gotten the hang of piloting. Of course, I say that, and that's right when I crash, right? Yeah, he says right after crashing into the sun. Okay. I'm also really wondering how we get to that sun station. Because we can't get into it because it's closed off. The path into the warp pad area is closed off. And it's not like we can warp into the place because that's where you're supposed to warp out of. I suppose we always could just fly there, though it seems like that's just a recipe for getting burned up. It's so easy to accidentally fly off into orbit. I bet if I wanted to, I could reach it like an escape velocity, just jetpacking around the planet fast enough. I might end up putting like a timestamp in the description, just so you guys don't have to sit through this part. It's not particularly informative. We still have to go to the interloper. It makes me wonder what else we could learn. I suppose some more details about how this works exactly. Quantum Moon was there, and now it's not. This game, I have never played a game like this. Let's put it that way. Like, I've never played a game that just rewarded discovery, I guess, and exploration as well as this game does. Oh! Okay. Fractions. Yeah. Okay, well, that answers that. If I get here early enough, I really should have gone for it, but I panicked. I can get through the hallway before the sand depletes. That is a clever way to block that off. Honestly, I feel a little silly that I didn't think of that earlier. We're gonna have to come back to that, possibly as soon as next loop. But for now, I'm running out of oxygen, and I really need a med kit. Okay, so and I think someone said something about using the sun station to power something at one point. So that might be a very useful place to visit. Of course, I'm assuming it's a sun station, but I think that's based on how the top of the building looks and how every other building teleports you to, like, the planet that it's symbolic for. Like, this is definitely an image of the sun. We saw this on the Addle Rock. We saw this image on the Addle Rock, representing the sun. So, I mean, like, what else could it be? I'm just realizing right now that we're going to have to wait another round before we actually manage to get into the Ash Twin project. Oh well, I guess this is the point where you guys put this on like 2 times speed. In the meantime, I think I'll listen to the heavens. It would be really nice to have a vantage point at some point that could hear all of these. Maybe from the Whitehall station. I know we still have things to see from there. Or things that we're missing there. But you know, that that puzzle solution within the Sun Tower is precisely what I'm talking about with this game, right? Like, that's the sort of thing you could figure out on your own. This game doesn't really, like, hold your hand for any of these puzzle solutions, and I really appreciate that. Some of these are actually pretty difficult to figure out. I'm kind of surprised I managed to get this one to work. That's the sort of thing I could have easily have missed. Yeah, 10 minutes and 30 seconds. So we have 10 minutes. Yeah, we have 12 minutes, I guess, until the end of the cycle. We'll have to watch you guys near the end of the loop as we approach the 20, like the 20-minute mark. Okay, let's see what we have. Yarrow. Today we finished the excavation of Ash Twin. Here, in this space we carved, we will craft our most ambitious project yet. The Ash Twin Project. Powerful enough to send information back in time? Oh! Oh. Okay, this is gonna have something to do with my loop. How far we've come since our experiments at the high energy lab. I can still hardly believe Rami's hypothesis was true. We've also finished relocating all subterranean plants we met while digging. We'll need to keep our eyes on how significantly we've altered the environment here. That's fairly impressive to relocate all the plant life. Poke just sent the warp core for the final tower to us from the Black Hole Forge. Now Ash Twin can be connected with Giant's Deep, where Cassava is working with Avens to craft the orbital probe cannon, and where Phlox is sculpting the memory statues. I guess I kind of was under the impression that the people on Giant's Deep were like a different faction of Nomai. But perhaps not. Hypothesis, it was not by accident the core of our warp tower was the last to be forged. Okay, so maybe there is some animosity here. Hypothesis, the cores could have been forged faster if Cassava had interrupted my work class frequently to ask for updates. The important part is we are all connected through Ash Twin now, and also that I'm no longer needed for mediating your disagreements. Our friends on Giant's Deep tested the orbital probe cannon today. Mallow tells me the cannon is doing well, and Avens advocates for more launch power. If anyone can coax the maximum power from a device, Avens can. Unfortunately for us. But then, or at least for the orbital probe cannon. But then, if anyone can goad a device into exploding, that too is likely Avens, yeah. Perhaps I should check in with the orbital probe cannon crew in the interest of safety. Would it help to remind Avens that Mallow, his love, will be one of the Nomai aboard the cannon, or is Mallow part of the problem? Real quickly, let me reduce the music slightly. It is great music, but I worry that it's drowning out some of the rest of the audio. Okay. Resume that. Yeah, as we suspected. Phlox and Daz finished the memory statues today, and they are truly remarkable. When the Ash Twin project succeeds, or in the event it fails, the memory statues will activate, allowing us to gather more data before we shut down the project. Okay. The memory statues. So, well, I mean, that seems kind of binary, right? Like, I mean, what is the... there's no situation where an Ash Twin project neither succeeds nor fails, right? That seems to cover all situations. So in all situations, the memory statues will activate, allowing us to gather more data. Okay, so the memory statue that I think triggered my loop activated. Pi and Idea have worked hard on the Sun Station, and it at last is complete. If everything goes as planned, this structure will prompt the Sun's explosion, which will in turn supply the power the Ash Twin project requires. Okay, and then let me guess, quantum mechanical shenanigans tied the core of this sun to every other sun. I'm impressed by their mental fortitude. This was the project's most difficult task, in more ways than one. We're nearly ready to activate the Ash Twin project. Here is what will happen. First, the Sun Station will receive the order to fire at the Sun, prompting it to explode. Using the energy from the resulting supernova, the Ash Twin project will send the order for the orbital probe cannon to fire back in time by 22 minutes. Is the probe moving through time? Exactly 22 minutes after these orders are received, the Sun Station will again trigger the supernova to send the probe data from this cannon launch back in time. In total, each cycle created by the Ash Twin project will last precisely 22 minutes. We can end this cycle at will. Okay. These words are difficult to write. The Sun Station did not work. However, this is the closest we have ever been. The Ash Twin project is theoretically sound. We were only unable to power it. Perhaps there is another way. Suppose we redesign the Sun Station. To generate power of that magnitude, a supernova is still our only viable option. You guys turned to black holes when you couldn't power it through the supernova, didn't you? This is easier expressed than accomplished. You can wait for the sun to explode on its natural timeline if you prefer, Idea, but you'll need to find some way to halt our aging process. I believe you can still find a way to create a supernova, my friend. Don't lose hope. Yeah, they're still looking for options. They're still trying to find ways, and that's why they turn to, I guess you could call it black magic. Alright. We are halting our research into creating a supernova for this moment. A comet has newly arrived in this solar system, and we are anxious to explore it. It's been a very long time since we last explored somewhere new, so we are excited to welcome this comet. Imagine what knowledge might be gained there. Well, the fact that this place is pointing me to the comet seems to be pretty solid evidence that a comet is definitely a place that we need to check out. There are some other projection stones. Did we have a pool? Yeah, of course we had a pool. We were projected into that pool from other places. I've installed the masks inside the Ash Twin Project flocks. They look beautiful, although I do feel as though I'm being observed. Well, that's probably the point of them. It's comforting to know the statues will not pair until the project succeeds. Otherwise, I imagine the experience would be hard to endure. Ideally, they'll only need to activate once the project succeeds. As a safety measure, however, the statues will also activate in the event of an equipment failure. They will? Why is that? If anything goes wrong with the Ash Twin Project, the statues and their masks will make us aware of the situation and enable us to fix it. Otherwise, it would be possible for us to remain permanently unaware of the problem. I hadn't thought about that. What a profoundly horrific fate that would be. Okay. Definitely want your stuff to work. Oh! Oh, right. I forgot how the process works here, but... Oh, I have a little bit more time. I have till the end of the music. My gratitude for the latest shipment, oh no. This ore should be the last we'll need for the Ash Twin project. This is exciting news. Okay, we have done this one already. Set that down. Brittle Hollow. I have good news, Yarrow. The advanced warp core is ready to be installed in the central chamber of the Ash Twin. No, it isn't. Is everything well at the forge? Okay, I really need to go. And I can't use my jetpack because of how the centrifugal force works in here. Okay. Watch them, they'll blink. They'll blink, watch this. Here they come, here it comes. Maybe not. Okay. There's still more writing in here. We got here as early as we could and we still didn't get through it all. Okay, we got the Brittle Hollow projection stone to look at. Wow. Alright, I guess that'll have to wait for the next episode then. Lot of stuff going on there that we figured out with the masks and the statues and recording data in particular. Alright. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. That was really close. Oh. I just had a realization, and I'm not really sure. I guess I can tag it at the end of this one. I think the orbital probe cannon isn't firing the probe back in time. I think it's choosing a different direction to fire every different loop. Every new loop, it's choosing a different direction to fire. And the quantum moon has come along to confirm my theory. And then it resets during the next loop. When it says it's firing the probe back in time, it's not saying it's firing it like so that the probe is moving back in time. It means that the instructions are being sent back in time to fire the probe. And that is that's how they found the eye of the universe, right? Because they're reiterating this cycle over and over again and shooting the probe out each time, just basically in any random direction. And then when it happens to actually hit the right, hit the eye of the universe, that's, I think, when the statues activate. Uh-huh. Which would imply that the very first loop I was in was the one where the probe actually found the eye of the universe. Because, oh, and this makes sense too. I think it said receiving data from the Timber Hearth statue, right? There were three things, but one of them I think was the probe tracking module. Okay, we've gone way over time, and I may elaborate more about this once I have a chance to think a little bit further on this. But I think I'm going to cut it off here and see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.